Paul Gordon, aka the founder of Closers.io, makes $3 million off of this simple ass funnel. He just uses Instagram and YouTube and X, the only three social platforms that he uses, and he somehow makes $3 million off of this exact funnel. And today, I basically funnel hacked that whole thing. I spent hours making this Miro board, collecting it all together, and I'm going to be giving this to you for completely free in this entire video. So I don't want to waste any of your time. Let's just get straight into the funnel breakdown. As you can see, we're going to start off with the Instagram at 514,000 followers. Cole Gordon, founder of Closers.io, $0 to $30 million a year in 26 months. That's a little bit of social proof. And again, Closers.io is also social proof. Click below if you want personal help growing your business or staffing your sales team. This is a little bit of a link to his Bitly. The reason he has a Bitly is just because Bitly is easier to track. I also like using Bitly personally for tracking of links and everything like that because it's just really good at, I guess, being integrated into other platforms as well. So CTA into the Closer.io funnel. I'll get into this in a quick second, but this is actually just a link to his YouTube. And again, I'll break that down in a quick second. But for the content on the Instagram, you can see that he's getting around about 3K on the low end right here. And then on the high end, he's getting around 50 to 100K views per video. And on average, I'd say he's getting around 10 to 20,000 views every singular video. And most of these videos are just him having talking head videos specifically for his Instagram, some of them. Other times, there are a lot of clips from his longer form videos. For example, he basically critiqued a ton of closes on one of these videos, and he's just been using that a ton, just critiquing viral clips, and he's just been making a ton of clips off of that exact video constantly. Sometimes he also does make clips of his, I guess, I'm not sure if these are masterminds, but these are just him giving speeches or talks in a specific place. This like kind of content builds a ton of authority as well. So if you were trying to build a ton of authority, if you were trying to get people to trust you, I'd recommend trying out that kind of content as well, where you are basically just giving a speech to a large audience and you film that on the third person POV basically. Now, for the actual YouTube, which is his, I think, personally most important platform, even though he has 10 times more followers on Instagram, it doesn't really matter because YouTube is insanely good at nurturing, and I would want to bet that he probably makes half or if not even more than that of his money just off of YouTube, especially for, you know, his info business or his specific info business that he wants people to work with himself for, right? And on YouTube, he has 38,000 subscribers, 603 videos. Want my personal help scaling your business or staffing your sales team? That is a little bit of a CTA, and this is the actual site, which is going to let you work with him. For the actual video, you'll see on the homepage, this is actually one of the most important videos, and a lot of people don't think about this, but the first video that you see on the For You page or the homepage of your channel is basically like your VSL on a landing page. And so it has a huge effect. That's why Cole Gordon has gone with how to go from 0 to 8 figures in 2025, because that targets his ICP of people who want to grow their business from around about 10, 50, 100K per month to 8 figures or 7 figures per month in 2025 or even per year. In videos, he literally just recaps his main videos. And then for sales trainings, these are the things that most people come to him for. So the sales trainings are another bit of a ton of value that a lot of people can consume. And so that's why he's put it on his main page, because this is like the best way that people can get into his funnel, because he gives away so much value in these and he builds so much authority in these that even if they just watch the sales trainings, they would be perfectly nurtured. On the actual videos, he's been making a lot of these kind of over-edited videos. He does not use any raw and authentic content, which I would really recommend for him to do. But as you can see, I spent $225,000 in Alex Hormozi's books. Once I learned these 5 skills, I paid gurus $3 million per month. So he mostly makes videos where he kind of pays people an amount of money and he tells you what he learned. He does a lot of those. He also does reaction videos, so reaction type of videos a lot as well, where he reacts to sales closes or sales scripts or whatever it might be. And other times he will make these full course videos. These are more middle of funnel / bottom of funnel videos. I personally think of courses or 5+ hour courses, 7+ hour courses. These are mostly middle of funnel videos because they're giving away so much value. Bottom of funnel videos are going to be something like this, right? So these are specific videos that are tailored to people who have already gone through his funnel and they want that specific juice, you know, that specific stuff that he can help them with, that they want to get into the nitty gritty basically. And these videos that get into the nitty gritty, those are the videos that are tailored to those bottom of funnel people who are the most likely to convert. And so he also makes a few of these every once in a while right here. A lot of these are top of funnel though, so I would want him to definitely focus on middle of funnel a little bit more, but he's probably focused on growing right now and then he'll monetize later. I do believe that's his strategy at the moment. Now, if you click on any one of these videos and you check the description, you will also be linked to this specific lead magnet, right? So there's the normal closers.io, staffing your sales team, scaling your business, blah, blah, blah. But there's also copy and paste the 11 funnels that helped me hit $30 million per year. These are his lead magnets. They're literally just a set of funnels that he used to hit 7 and 8 figures. And again, your lead magnet can be very simple, right? You can literally just give your docs, you can give a Google Doc away as a lead magnet. You can give your newsletter even away as a lead magnet, although I would not recommend it because a lot of you guys aren't really good copywriters. Unless you're a really good copywriter, I would not recommend going with a newsletter strategy. But if you guys want to start off with a lead magnet, I would really, really support that because lead magnets, they add an entryway into your funnel that is very low cost and very low commitment for the buyer so that they can enter your funnel and it's very hard to get out at that point. So once they've given you something, it's way easier to get them to give you way more, right? So if they've given you your email address or their email address, they're way more likely to give you 10, 20, 30, $1,000, right? Just because they've given you something in the past. Because if they gave you their email address and they got a ton of value, that's the only time when it's going to actually make them more likely to buy. If you don't give them value within this lead magnet, they're not going to be more likely to buy. In fact, it'll do the opposite effect. So you want to make sure that the lead magnet is extremely valuable. And I'd say you want to put as much time in your lead magnet as you were putting into your actual offer. Why? Because 90% of the people are only going to see your lead magnet. So why wouldn't you focus on that a lot? Because like 90% of people aren't even going to see your product. So you might as well focus on the lead magnet as much as possible so you can get more and more of those people to convert into your actual product. That's why I'd recommend spending an absolute metric ton of time on a lead magnet if you are trying to do one, right? Now, when you go into the YouTube, you might be wondering, why am I constantly talking about nurturing, right? Like I've been talking about nurturing throughout this video about this 25-minute nurturing. Nurturing basically just means having people see your face as much as physically possible. And this comes down to something I like to call the 7-11-4 rule. Now, a lot of people who are on the channel regularly are going to know what this is, but this basically just means people need to consume 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points across 4 different locations to actually buy your product. Now, what does that mean? That means that they have to watch 7 hours of your videos or your reels or whatever it might be, 7 hours of that. They need to do that across 11 different videos or 11 different reels or different like touch points within the same platform. Okay. They need to do that through 11 of those. And they also need to see you in 4 different locations. Now, what does that mean? That means your YouTube is a location. That means your Instagram is a location. That means your X is a location. That means your landing page is a location. So you need at least 4 locations that people see you in, different locations that will make them more likely to buy. And this is why retargeting ads work so well. And if you guys have a lack of locations, I would urge you to try out retargeting ads because then you can get more locations just by paying a little bit of money to advertise to your existing audience, because you're going to be able to reach them in more and more different places and you'll always be in the back of their mind, which is again going to make them more familiar with you, which is going to result in them being more likely to buy something from you because they trust you more because they're more familiar with you. Now, before I get into the landing page and all that jazz, I'm going to go ahead and break down his X funnel. Now, his X funnel is a bit different from his main funnel, but I'll get into all of these in a second because he has an absolutely insane like whole ecosystem of funnels. It's really interesting. So he has about 3 funnels in total. I'll get into each one of these in a quick second, including the closers.io funnel. Now, as you can see on Twitter or X, he is Cole Gordon, real Cole Gordon. Sales trainer and recruiter. He's introducing himself, exact same bio as basically everything else, but he also says free 5-day sales course link below. He did not fix this link. This link does not work. He's probably going to fix it soon. I'm not going to be able to break it down here because this link just simply does not work. But here, when you see closer.io, this is actually a link to his closers.io funnel. Because again, the reason he's funneling people here is because people on X are more bottom of funnel and middle of funnel. So what that means is that people on X are way more likely to convert because they've already gone through your whole funnel basically, and they are more, I guess, the best quality buyers basically you can get are on X. They're mostly middle of funnel or mostly bottom of funnel, which means that they need a lot of value from you or they need a ton of just social proof and case studies. That's the 2 things that people on X, that's what the people on X basically need from you. before they actually convert. So the best way to do this is by kind of reposting your content onto X, which is what Jeremy does, or that's what Cole does, sorry. And he is just going to keep reposting his content. And then he also recaps his entire story. And he constantly gives you different lessons, etc., etc., etc. And then again, he will link you to 3-hour courses. He will link you to valuable resources, all of that jazz, right? And this is building so much rapport for him because he's giving you so much valuable stuff. So why wouldn't you like him, right? That's why he's giving you this valuable stuff, because the more stuff he gives you, the more videos he gives you, he loses nothing. And of course, he makes a lot more money because let's say somebody gives you a gift. You are going to instantly be more likely to like them, right? Just because they gave you something. Now you have to think of your videos, you have to think about your links and everything like that. As long as they're valuable, they count as gifts. And your prospects, they like gifts. So you don't want to be at all afraid to link your videos or sound salesy. If your product is valuable, if your lead magnet is valuable, if your videos are valuable, then you should link them as much as physically possible, because you're actually being selfish if you don't, right? Now that's basically his whole X strategy. It's pretty basic stuff. He mostly reposts videos. He also does sometimes recap learnings, all that jazz. I'm not going to go too deep into that. But let's get into the main closers.io funnel, which is going to just be from the X, and it's also from the Instagram over here as well. Now, for the closers.io funnel, I'm just going to quickly break this down. For this VSL, it's about 5 minutes long. It's super short, and it just basically tells you exactly why closers.io exists, why you need it, and basically just aggravates your pain points and gives you way more social proof. Schedule a call, quick CTA, and then a ton of social proof down here. Afterward, another little bit of a video that explains how it works, because the confused prospect does not buy. And he does the same thing here again, right? So some people like reading, some people like watching videos. You want to tailor to both of those audiences, and it'll depend on which stage your funnel is in. So if you're already doing 10, 15, 20, 30K a month, I would really urge you to start implementing these text and write of copywriting into your actual funnel. Why? Because some people like reading, some people like watching. So you need to tailor to both of those people, because sometimes people just literally hate watching videos and they will not watch your videos on your landing page, and that will result in some people being lost out of your funnel that could have been clients. So it's obviously not something that you want to do if you're just launching at 10K, 20K a month. I'd really just recommend it if you are 30 to 50 to 100K per month. That's when you really want to implement this stuff. That's why he's done it here as well. Next, another CTA at the bottom of the page, and then a little bit of a few FAQs. Bam. That's the basic page. It's super simple, not too complicated, and really easy to understand, I hope. Now, there's also another funnel that we need to go ahead and break down, which is his right here. This is his lead magnet, or the 7 funnels. This isn't technically a lead magnet, but it's more of a low ticket offer. So it's more of his low ticket offer, and it is about $27. As you can see, what it basically is that it's the unlimited leads licensing program. And also, you get these 7 funnels that built his $30 million a year consulting done for you services company for only $27. And he has a quick little bit of a whole VSL right here, and more social proof. Again, a little bit of a video that explains, or not a video, sorry, a little bit of text that explains exactly what's in there, because confused prospect does not buy. Big green button, people want to click that. More value stacking. After that, it's going to be more bonuses, and that's why bonuses, let me explain why bonuses really work well. I know you guys have probably heard this a ton, but the reason that bonuses work so well is because, I mean, it's just one of the biggest levers you can pull in your business, right? Let's say you have 3 products, and in this case, he has a product that's $30. All right, we got a $30 product. We got one product that's $20, and then we got one product that is about, let's say, $10, or let's say, yeah, $10. This product's $10. That one's $20, and that one's $30. Instead of selling these separately and saying, hey, this one's $30, you're paying $30 for this, you're paying $20 for this, and you're paying $10 for this, you can really easily just repackage the same thing you already have into being like, so you're going to get this one thing, the most valuable thing, which is the $30 one, for $60. But we're also going to give you this thing for free, and we're going to give you this thing for free as well. This can be way higher than market price. You don't even need to worry about that, because people will buy it just because of the bonuses, right? It doesn't matter if people are not going to buy it just because you gave this, right? Because the bonuses are going to make up for that. And bonuses actually inflate the value proposition in a buyer's mind by like 2x, just because they're labeled as bonuses. You can literally just white label. Basically, you can just relabel what your product already is into having more bonuses, and bam, you will get more conversions. It's a really simple thing, and it's really, really insane how much of an effect it can have, but most people aren't doing it. So if you implement this, you're already ahead of a lot of people. Next is a quick money back guarantee, and then it explains exactly how does it work. Confused prospect does not buy. Will this work in my industry? He's answering common objections throughout this entire page, backed by our unbeatable money back guarantee. Again, more objections. And then finally, a low payment of $27. And I'm assuming, I wasn't able to check this, but I'm assuming that he probably has an exit pop with a discount for it as well. But other than that, you also have this third funnel that I'm about to break down, which is the main like work with me funnel, which is for his personal help scaling your business. And that funnel is being funneled into by the YouTube and also by the Instagram. So we're getting traffic from YouTube and Instagram for this specific funnel. When you go into it, you see, I want my personal help scaling your business or staffing your sales team with setters or closers. Watch this 90-second video. As you can see, 90-second video for details on how we work. He will always make these super short. Why? Because his YouTube videos, his Instagram videos, they've already done the job to nurture you. So he doesn't have to put in a whole ass essay into his VSL like a lot of people think they do. It will depend on how nurtured your audience is, the length of your VSL. And I'd recommend, if your audience is, let's say, a good ballpark, I'll give you the two extremes so that you can just pick a little bit of a area in between for your specific business. But let's say your business was just from YouTube and you had X as well, right? And you make sure that nobody can access the link before they are nurtured, okay? That's the first extreme. That at that point, you don't even need a VSL, or no, let's say you need about a minute long VSL max or a 30-second long VSL max, and then they will obviously buy. The prospect will buy. On the other extreme, if you have a Instagram or if you have a TikTok funnel with basically no nurturing, with nothing at all, and they are completely unnurtured, basically, you're in kind of a tough spot here because you can't really make the VSL too long because they have a crap attention span, and you can't really make it too short because then they won't be nurtured at all. So the best way to do that is you want to make it about 15 to 20 minutes long, and then in between, if you're just in between in the middle, I'd say 10 to 15 is a pretty decent number for you guys to go for. So 10 to 15 minutes, great VSL length. Any longer is just going to be too long, right? And any shorter is just not going to be enough nurturing, depending on where your traffic is coming from. But of course, I support Cole's decision right here because his traffic is super nurtured. Schedule a demo call after you watch the 90-second video above. Then he actually gets you into a type form, which a lot of people don't do. Talking about some specific people, which I will be breaking down their funnel. Because if you don't have a type form, you're already cutting your conversions by like 20%. And I've tested this. Type forms will increase your conversions by that much, just because people aren't overwhelmed by like the insane number of questions that you have on your Google Sheets or your Calendly. That's just why it works so well. So that's why type form is like the messiah of forms, because it has a really clean UI, it has really clean integration with Calendly, and of course, it just doesn't overwhelm the prospect, which again will increase conversion rates. Next is a quick book a call link right here. Book your demo call below. I'd recommend for him to go ahead and just integrate a Calendly into the Typeform instead of using whatever software he's using here, because this software doesn't really look that clean at all. And also, if he integrated Calendly into Typeform, he would be able to take the most advantage of Typeform as possible, because you actually lose 20% of your prospects just because you redirect them to a new page when they finish their Typeform. It's a crazy statistic, but you actually lose 20% of people. Let me repeat that. You lose 20% of people just because you redirected people to a new page instead of embedding Calendly into the last question of the Typeform, which, by the way, that is a native embed. Typeform supports Calendly really well. So you can really easily do that, and it's a big lever that a lot of people aren't pulling. So I recommend, if any of you guys have a Typeform funnel right now, try integrating that. You'll see a huge difference within your conversion rates, basically overnight, right? So just integrate Calendly into the Typeform, make it the last question. The reason this works so well is just because people then think the form isn't over, and sunk cost fallacy kicks in. Hey, I already filled out like 90% of this form, might as well just book in a call. Whereas when they go to a new page, it kind of feels like step 2 or step 3 has started, and they're like, all right, I can quit now because technically this isn't a part of step 2, which is the only place I sunk my time into. So it's kind of a weird dissociation between the two steps, but that's why it has such a huge effect. And again, if you guys are doing something with Typeform and Calendly, I would really urge you to integrate those two together. You're going to see a huge difference in conversion rates. But anyways, that was Cole Gordon's $3 million per month sales funnel broken down into the nitty gritty. Hope you got a ton of value from that video. If you are interested in working with me, go ahead and check the first link down below. If you're a coach, consultant, or an agency owner who wants to scale their info business, who already has an info product that they want to scale, or you have an existing following that you want to monetize with an info product, then go ahead and DM me on Instagram. Down below, link is the first link in the description. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram. We can talk. If we actually, are enjoying our time together, or whatever you think we can actually help, or we think we can actually help you, then we're going to go ahead and book in a call from there. Either way, even if we don't work together by the end of this, you're still going to get a ton of value from me, because I'm just going to basically break down your entire funnel, tell you exactly what the biggest levers to pull are. So either way, you're going to walk away with a metric ton of value either way. So it's a no-brainer for you. Anyways, if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to watch another one of my videos, go ahead and check this one out right here, because YouTube thinks that you'll like it. If you want to watch the whole funnel breakdowns playlist with upwards of $100,000 worth of sauce and like 40 other breakdowns just like this, check it out right here. And of course, if you are interested in leaving a like and subscribe, which I would appreciate, subscribe right here. And of course, leave a like down below the video. Hoping to see you in this next video. Goodbye.